And then, and we looked at a couple of those turnovers, those bad turnovers. And then I always say a bad shot is like a turnover. They shot like 6 bad shots, and I'm not going to call people out, but they had 6 shots that they were ill-advised, which led to fast break point. And you can't have that. And you got to get guys to get back. And the other thing, you have to box out. We always talk about pay attention to detail. There's so many things when it comes to the second round of the playoffs that you need to up your antennas and pay attention to detail. You got to box out. You got to control the ball. You can't give up on plays because there's a couple plays where guys kind of assume that their teammate was going to get it. So there's a lot of things that go into effect. But, overall, I would give, Lakers a B+ for this game. I grade hard.
Yeah, you do.
You know that. But I felt like this game plan was good. They just didn't make shots.
And James, listen, there are just moments in the game where you feel you could turn it or get the break to go to your side. Jackson Hayes gets the and one. It gets reviewed. It ends up being a charge. Lakers with like 30 seconds left have the ball in the third, chance to win the quarter. Marcus has a 3. He misses. Go down the other end. A.J. Mitchell, 4-point play. Now you're down 12 going into the fourth, and their crowd is very involved.
I think they got it down to 4 at one point.
They're right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And those are the moments that you really got to take a deep breath and really exercise good execution. Like when you're chipping away the lead, you get it to 4. You can't afford to take an ill-advised shot, a long 3, a quick 3. You got to make the defense work. And I'm not saying they didn't try to do that, but I just think Oklahoma is so quickly, to put points on the board after a turnover or after a long 3. And we just couldn't knock any shots down. We couldn't tie it or go ahead. I thought when we got to 4, I was like, okay, we're doing a pretty good job of chipping away. But, you can't make any mistakes after that.
Listen, we showed you the graphic in the pregame show. Austin Reaves, in his 2 games against Houston, he averaged 18.5 points, but the efficiency was not there. He was able to get to the line, but the struggles continue against this Oklahoma City team and the way that they defend him, Rob. Just 8 points, 3 of 16 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. How concerned are you with the struggles and especially the way that they defend him?
I'm not really concerned about it because you think about it, it's only 3 games in that he's actually played against live competition. I mean live competition, I mean other people other than his teammates, because that's a different story. And I think a lot of this he has to be understanding that, this game is not going to be called like regular season games. And you can go down a list of people, JT, James Harden, Shea, a lot of these guys, they assume that they're going to get those calls that they get during the regular season or not. He has to put that out of his mind and just get to the hole and just play, because they're not going to give you calls like that. And I think for Austin also, he needs to take the easy shots. So, one easy shot he thought he had, the guy came out of nowhere and blocked the shot. So you got to be leery of that. But I just think with him, you got those 3 games to knock off the rust. I think he'll be better next game.
No question. I just think, offensively, I think he will, he'll redeem himself. It's defensively is with him. And I think, that's where he needs to be careful with fouls and things of that nature. But I think Austin Reaves is going to find a way to get to the line. I think he'll navigate and get his shots. He's a smart player. And so, it's game 1. He had opportunities where he had shots. They just can't make shots, man. It's a tough night.
So, not great news. Jared Vanderbilt, and we talked about it in the pregame show. This is a series we thought he would get minutes for sure. We thought JJ would go to that 9-man rotation because of the athleticism, the length, and his ability to play tough and just muck it up and cause some havoc and some problems. So this is a series where you were going to have to use him, especially defensively. Lakers brought to you by your Toyota dealers. We make it easy. Chris McGee alongside Robert Orion, Big Game, James Worthy, Mike Trudell out there in OKC. Lakers fall to the Thunder in game 1 of round 2. We knew coming in the Lakers would have to shoot the basketball really well and take care of the basketball. They shot 41%. They turned it over 18 times. That led to 20 points. OKC just doesn't give you a lot of room to breathe, Big Game, and not a lot of room for error. They play 11 guys. They send a lot at you. They hit 13 threes. They shot 43% from downtown. 8 of those threes came from their bench, and they won that bench battle as well, 34-15.
Yeah, there's no breaks with Oklahoma. You have to have your antennas up for 48 minutes. It only takes them, 60 seconds, excuse me, 90 seconds to really, turn a game around. You can't turn it over. They come at you so many different ways. But I thought tonight's game, for a game 1, I thought the Lakers, held their own for a while, Geeter. In the first half, You know, they fought well. They got some support from LeBron and you know, Marcus. But Oklahoma's they're just too good, man. They come at you in waves and they rebound the ball well. They turn you over, and the Lakers fell victim to that. You know, especially toward the second quarter and most of the third.
You know, I thought the game plan was great. You think about it, they held SGA under 20 points. Their highest point total was 24 out of Chet. And for me, I know sometimes we just shot the ball poorly. You shot the ball poorly for a reason. And same thing applies to the Lakers. You look at the way Marcus and Austin Reaves shot the ball. They were 7 for 31 between the two of them. And if your two guards have that, that's not going to work. And you told Luke Kennard, and that's 1 for 4. So that's just a bad shooting for the guards. So, it's the first game on the road. I know the Lakers recently played in the playoff series, but they still had a lot of days off. So hopefully next game, those two guys can shoot a little bit better, because just sometimes when you lose a game, you scrap everything. But I don't think they need to scrap anything. They just need to shoot the ball better.
Yep.
So I think the game plan, the whole SGA, how they did, it was perfect.
You look at these margins, right, and OKC wins every quarter, +5 after 1, +3 in the second. So that gets you an 8-point lead. Then they go +4 in the third. That gets you a 12-point lead. And then they win the fourth by 6. You end up losing by 18. They just wear you down and they win the quarters, James.
And one of your comments, and we're just watching the game, is we just need to win a quarter.
Yeah.
You kept saying that, just win one quarter. And that's the way you have to try to plan. I thought the Lakers came close to doing that. As Rob said, they just didn't shoot the ball as well. But Oklahoma will come at you with their bench. Guys like, and also guys like McCain, who's just a nightmare. When their bench comes in, they don't lose a step. In fact, they play a little bit more aggressively defensively. So the Lakers, they didn't shoot the ball well. I think if they had shot better, it'd have been a closer game. So it's one game. You can't just be bad on yourself, be down on yourself about this game. You look at the good, and you try to correct what you need to.
Yeah, you look at OKC, 6 players, 4 of those on the bench with the plus double-digit plus-minus. Let's look at their trio. No Jay Will. A.J. Mitchell fills in and plays absolutely phenomenal. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and A.J. Mitchell, they combine for 60 points, guys, but they do it 18 of 34, Rob, so the efficiency is there. Chet, 9 of 17 for 24 points, hit a couple of threes. A.J. Mitchell with 18 points, and Shai with 18 points. And Shai even said in the walk-off interview, they were rusty on offense after their 8 days off.
I don't think it was. Sometimes you want to say that, but I still say it was the Lakers' defense.
Yeah, Lakers played hard on defense.
Yeah, because then you can say the rusty applies to the Lakers too, because their guards shot the ball poorly. And I think when you look at the game, sometimes home cooking helps you. OKC has a great fan base, and so. Well, I really want to say the one thing I was most proud of was the refs. The refs didn't give Shai a lot of those ticky-tack calls. He just goes hunting for calls. I think that the game was called very well, but I just need the Lakers to play better. And they had 17 times.